Remember when apartment complexes used to have to tell you why they was raising the rent? Yeah, they used to have to tell you why. They couldn't just raise it because they felt like it with no explanation. I remember my mother would get a letter to what they were changing it to and the reason for the change. Now they just send you a random email like, hey, get ready to adjust your budget. Shit about to get different. Apartments was always supposed to be a stepping stone to a house. That's what you did before you got a house so you can save up. It's supposed to be the cheaper alternative to a house. Buying groceries is supposed to be the cheaper alternative to eating out. Now you can't even tell the difference. You can't tell where you saving. You like, hold on, my rent is more than my mama's mortgage. Hold on, we spent the same amount of money on groceries this month as we did last month when we was eating out every day. We always want to go down there and have a meeting with the people in the office like they changed our fucking rent. Like the lady sitting at that desk down there changed the damn rent. She don't know. She don't have a fucking clue why they changed this rent. All she do is answer calls and check emails. Leave her alone. It's just crazy how all these corporations, these businesses, these brands, if they just want a little bit more money than they had last year, it's nothing for them to go up on their shit without blinking. It's nothing for them to make your favorite shoe $5 more. Make all your favorite groceries $1 or $2 more. Make your rent $100 more. They didn't make enough money last year. They got to go up. And since the businesses went up, the companies went up, now the entrepreneurs have to go up. So now your nail tech adding $15, your barber adding $15, your hairdresser adding $15. They got to keep up too, right? So you trying to keep up with all the changes, and meanwhile you got a 25-cent raise. And Dollar Tree took that from you. That's why I don't understand people that get mad at other people that learned how to finesse the government or get over on the system. It's like the system is getting over on you. The government is fucking you. How are you getting mad at somebody that figured it out? Don't get mad that they found a way to get some extra food stamps or not have to pay as much in taxes. The system is fucking us all over. They just figured it out. Don't get mad at them. Because I swear to God, if you see me in the self-checkout line and all my groceries come out to the same price as grapes, mind your business. Mind your business. A side hustle used to be an option. Getting a side hustle used to be something that people did to make extra money, extra spending money, to go, you know what I'm saying, just have a little pocket change to go do something with, have some fun with. Now that shit is mandatory. What are you doing on the side to stay afloat? What is your second job? What is your second and third source of income to barely just make it by? What is it? You gotta have one.
Living in America in 2025 feels like you're trying to breathe while someone's hand is over your mouth. And they're charging you rent for it. As soon as you get paid, it's gone. You buy groceries and the bags are lighter. You fill your tank and the needle mocks you. Food's up, rent's up, insurance, utilities, coffee. I mean, even your damn toothpaste is up. Everything's up. Except the paycheck. Oh, and everything's also smaller. Shrinkflation? Yeah, that's the way they rob you while smiling in your face. You're not imagining it. The box is smaller. The portions are skimpier. The price is higher, and you're supposed to eat it with a smile. This isn't bad budgeting. This isn't laziness. This is a rigged game where everyone at the top profits and everyone at the bottom is a slave. We're getting taxed, drained, and blamed every step of the way. If you feel it too, you're not crazy. You're just living in America in 2025. And it's fucking brutal.
The way the cost of living has gone up is fucking crazy. A one-bedroom apartment is damn near $2,000 a month, which is crazy. Like, what? Food is steady going up, and it's just like, damn, what do y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to live on the street in a box and, eat out the garbage and drink my spit? Because at this point, that's what I'm finna fucking do. Because, no, I'm not finna pay for no $2,000 apartment and I'm barely in it, motherfucker, because I'm always at work trying to keep the motherfucker. So, I don't know.
We're not. Truth of the matter, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck with credit card debt. I know people who are legitimately putting gas and groceries on credit cards just so that they can get back and forth to work. I believe that this is what most people are now calling the silent depression. $100 has become the new $20, and it's ridiculous, but the best thing about it is that people have shifted their core values. Look at this app alone and all the videos of all the retailers on Black Friday that nobody was there. They just don't care anymore. People are realizing that if it doesn't bring value into my life, then I don't need it. And while I don't get political on this app, you're having people on both sides of the aisles going, yeah, this kind of sucks. Right wing, left wing, it doesn't matter. It's the same bird. And now so many Americans are going, I truly just, I don't care. I think it's woken a lot of people up to the idea of why are we funding things that we don't care about when all of us right here are struggling. It's changed the people's attitude in the workforce to where a job is just a job. You used to be very loyal to a job, but they've seen that there's no employee loyalty because there's no employer loyalty. People aren't putting up with toxic bosses anymore. You're either going to treat me right or I'm going to leave, because there's tons of companies that are hiring because nobody can find help. People just don't trust the system anymore, and they're starting to focus on what matters the most. Most people are out here making more money than they ever have and realizing that it's not going anywhere. So they're just not spending it. And what has made a lot of people turn their back on the system is that now they somehow either make too much or not enough money to qualify for the government assistance that they've been paying into their entire life. There are people out there who can't afford to buy the groceries, but they make too much money to get the food stamps. A lot of people are out here calling it the depression. I like to call it the awakening. People are just realizing how much they can get done on their own and that they don't need the government to hold their hand. So to go back to your question, how are people making it? Financially, I don't really know. But I'm very grateful that people are starting to look for answers.
They talking about they're going to start giving us retirement benefits at 86. Listen to me. They can raise this retirement age to 107 fucking teen. I don't care if I retire with $1 million in the bank or $12 in the bank. And when I'm tired, when I'm done working and I'm going to start scamming at 50. They're talking about most millennials will be able to retire in their mid-80s. And do fucking what? Mid-80s? Bitch, my knees hurt now. You must be talking about the Florida temperature in March, mid-80s, because ain't no fucking way. Y'all keep playing with us millennials, bro, huh? Y'all been fucking us ever since we came into this shit. Y'all done raised the price of food, raised the price of gas, raised the price of retirement, and ain't thought about raising our pay. And we are legit trying so hard to be on a straight and narrow. Work a 9 to 5, climb the ladder, get a 401k, save a little money, be cool with vacationing maybe once a year, scan everything in the checkout line. Pretend like we not jealous of everybody that got away with the PPP loans. Trying to invest in Bitcoin and stock and bloody fucking blah. Also, you can let us know that we will be 15 years from 100 years old by the time we can enjoy retirement. Let me tell you something. Y'all got a couple more elections to get this shit together. Or 50% of millennials is about to start a life of crime. I'm telling y'all, I used to steal all sorts of things and I'm good at it. Y'all not about to have us in the workforce at fucking 90 years old. Jail ain't even looking that bad at this point.
You know what's crazy is how expensive going out has gotten, and the fact that Gen Z is like, we're just not doing it anymore. We're not doing it because I would say, at least in the city that I'm in, it costs at least $100 to $150 if you want to have a night out with your friends. The average drink where I'm at is like $20 to $25 once you put tip in there. So if you're having 4 or 5 drinks, that's well over $100. And then God forbid you're calling an Uber. God forbid you're calling an Uber there and back. I don't know how you're going to financially recover from that. And it's just crazy because the other thing I'm seeing is the pre. I have never pre'd more in my life than these past few months, and that is including when I went to university 6-7 years ago. No one is going out these days unless we're preing at someone's house. It's literally just not happening. I'm not going out unless I'm going to my friend's place, having 99% of the night there, to be honest, and then sneaking out for 1 or 2 cheeky drinks at the end of the night. And you know what the sad part is too? Nowhere is busy. That's the crazy part. It's like you go to these places that are charging $20 to $25 a drink. Every single one of my like top 10 favorite bars, favorite clubs, favorite restaurants that I've gone to in the city that I'm in the past few months has not been nearly close to jam-packed. Not what I remembered it on like a Tuesday night 5 years ago. And it's just crazy because we keep seeing all these articles about Gen Z being the most sober generation. It has nothing to do with us being good people. I ask any of my friends, we're not going out because we're in relationships. We're not going out because we're getting older. We're just not going out because we don't want to spend $500 and take out a line of credit to go out.
My rent just went from $1,360 to $3,900 a month. Also, I'm sick. Happy spring equinox.
I got paid today. I make $75,000 a year, and after taxes, health insurance, and my 401k, I take home $2,126.19. Each payday looks pretty much the same. I actually get my paycheck deposited into 4 different accounts. So first, $850 is taken out and put into my bills checking account. This is for my fixed necessities, or really the things that are like automatically taken out of my account. So something like rent is a necessity, but then my Netflix subscription and my Spotify subscription, those are also taken out of this account. And $850 is half of my monthly fixed expenses. Then I get $300 put into another checking account that I kind of call my variable necessities account. So this is really just groceries, gas, but also things like shampoo and conditioner and skincare, and those things are just kind of annoying to buy with your spending money. Then I get $826 deposited into my high yield savings account, and then that gets bucketed into different categories. And the last line is just $150 that's deposited into my spending account, my spending checkings account. So first, for the savings, I have a few different sinking funds. Each month I put $125 towards gifts. The bulk of this sinking fund is for Christmas, but also just for birthdays and even donations throughout the year. I put $100 towards self-development. So this can be courses or fun classes or even like self-help books sometimes. $250 towards my Roth IRA, $250 towards my travel savings, $200 towards my emergency fund, $50 towards my cat, and $677 towards my student loans right now. And each paycheck, I automatically transfer $826 into my savings account, but I split it up differently based on paycheck number 1 of the month and paycheck number 2 of the month. For example, like my student loan payments, I have automatically taken out, so more money needs to be put in at the beginning of the month. But now that we're at the end of the month, I put a little bit less in that category and like more towards my emergency fund. And that's everything. Now I look at my credit card statements and decide how much I'm going to pay off of those. And I check for any extra money anywhere that I can throw at my student loan.
The economy is so bad that evictions have skyrocketed far above pre-lockdown levels. This is of course due to rents surging through the roof. In fact, in some cities, evictions are up as much as 35%. And this data is from Princeton University. Now get this equation, as rents went up by 30%, evictions went up by 30%. What a coincidence. It's not hard to see why this has happened. Many people were already pushed to the brink thanks to the surge in the cost of living. And once rents skyrocketed even more and more people were pushed over the edge. Also keep in mind that due to the constrained supply of affordable housing, in many markets, people are forced to rent more expensive apartments than they can actually comfortably afford. This does 2 things. First, it absolutely decimates their budgets. But second, it exposes them to any kind of price increase, which they may not be able to absorb. People being forced to rent apartment units that are outside of their budget is also driving this trend. The surge in evictions is just one more sign that we are in recession. And remember, not just recession, but stagflation. As always, for more interesting and informative stories on tech, business, the economy, and jobs, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel here and on Instagram and YouTube.
Minimum wage should be at least $20 an hour. Let's do some basic math. $20 an hour at 40 hours a week, that's $800. Let's say they take out of your check $160. Yeah, let's say like roughly about 20% between like your taxes and if you have insurance. That leaves you with $640. Let's multiply that by 4. That's $2,560. The average person right now is paying anywhere from $1,000 to $1,600. Some people pay more in rent. You still have to pay your light bill. If you have cable, you got to pay your cable bill. If you have insurance on your car, cell phone bill, and then if you have any debt. Oh, and let's not forget groceries, because you got to eat. And your gas money at $20 an hour is barely enough. People should not be forced to have a roommate to survive.
A recent report came out telling us how much we need to make to live comfortably depending on which state we live in. And being able to live comfortably means 50% of our earnings goes towards necessities, 30% goes towards our wants, and 20% goes to savings and investments. Apparently, the most expensive state is Massachusetts at $116,000 per year, which is around $56 an hour. However, the average salary in Massachusetts is around $66,000 a year or $32 an hour. Hawaii is up next at around $113,000 a year, which is around $55 an hour. The average salary in Hawaii is around $53,000 a year or $25 an hour. Following closely behind that, California is at third at $113,000 a year. And in California, the average salary is around $62,000 a year or $30 an hour, so you're at least only $50,000 short of living comfortably. The fourth highest state is New York at $111,000 per year or $54 an hour. Surprisingly, in New York, the average salary is around $52,000 a year or $25 an hour. And in fifth, we have Washington at $106,000 a year or $51 an hour. And as you might expect, the average salary in Washington is lower, being at $58,000 a year or $28 an hour.
How are we expecting people to rent when they have to pay first and last month's rent plus a security deposit? I have a family member, he's not on this app, and he is trying to get into an apartment complex, big corporate-owned apartment complex here in Tampa. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square feet, $1,600 a month. They have horrible reviews on Google, not a great part of town, but it's what he can afford right now, and it's going to be, he knows it's a temporary thing. So he asked me if I'd be willing to co-sign on this apartment because this apartment complex is asking for first and last month's rent plus a large security deposit. And I said, no problem. I'd rather you take that money that you would normally have to apply towards the application process to get moved in and instead focus on like buying yourself groceries when you get moved in and having the funds to set up your utilities and all the things. And I went ahead and submitted all the documents that they asked of me, which was 3 months worth of bank statements, our 2023 tax return, as well as copies of contracts and payments made for my clients because I'm a 1099 employee, to show them that basically if for some reason he weren't able to pay his rent, it would default to me, and including my social security number, so they'd come after me. No problem. I trust this family member wholeheartedly and have no issue doing that. So I submitted all those documents and they called him today. And yes, they are still asking for first and last month's rent and they are still requesting a security deposit. They lowered it. But let me just set the stage here. $1,600 a month is the rent. I provided them documentation to show that one of my clients, just one client that pays me in a month, would cover over 12 months of his rent. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying this because this is the level of absurdity we have reached. You have someone that's co-signing to ensure that that apartment is paid for, that has proof, documentation, proof of funds to show that just one of my payments from one of my clients in a month that I provided a contract to show would cover his rent for the entire year. And yet that's not good enough to waive a security deposit or still make him pay first and last month's rent. What are we doing? Like, why are we making Gen Z like not be able to have a place to live? This is absurd. Like, I don't understand why somebody needs to be making over $1 million to show that you could waive the security deposit and not make them pay last month's rent. Like, I essentially showed them collectively that my husband and I make, I'm not going to say how much it is, but it's absurd. Because if he doesn't have a co-signer, like, how do people move into those places then? I don't get it. I don't understand what we're doing to this generation. Then I see a news report that mortgage rates are climbing back up again, 5-month high, 6.85%. I ain't buying in that market unless I can pay cash. So we rent. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that for us. But I'm also 20 years older. Like, and I've already lived, I don't, like, this is stupid at this point. I guess, what is that generation supposed to do if you don't have somebody co-signing for you? How do you expect them to come up with that type of cash for $1,600 a month rent? I don't understand what we're doing here. I don't understand it.
From the budget bill about Section 8, anything housing related, homelessness, and LIHEAP. Now, you might want to save this video because there's a ton of information. It's a lot to absorb, and you might want to just enjoy your 4th of July weekend, to be honest. But nonetheless, I have to get through this. There are a lot of people that are interested in knowing as soon as possible so that they can prepare and be proactive. Now, I will tell you that there are no start dates specifically on these provisions, okay? I will also tell you the cuts are billions and billions of dollars. This will hurt people. So, like I said, if you can't handle it now, just save this. But please share this information so that everyone can receive the correct information and can prepare themselves for what's to come. Now, overall, there's going to be a 44% cut in HUD programs. That's all HUD programs. However, it's going to hit those that get rental assistance and those in homelessness programs the hardest. Now let's dig in. I have to get through this as quickly as possible. As you know, I only have 10 minutes to do so with this video. First of all, topic 1, rental assistance. Number 1, funding for rental assistance will be reduced by about 43%. That's $26.7 billion less that HUD will have. That is the Housing and Urban Development. This is really important to understand, okay? With rental assistance programs, the 5 largest federal rental assistance programs will be all consolidated into a state-based formula block grant program, into one program that prioritizes funding for households with elderly individuals and persons with disabilities. So I want to make it clear. If you are elderly, 65 and older, or if you are disabled, don't stress out on anything I'm about to tell you except for LIHEAP. Which 5 programs will be combined? Tenant-based rental assistance, that's the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Project-based rental assistance, public housing, Section 202 housing for the elderly, Section 811 housing for persons with disabilities. All of those 5 programs will be combined together, and the federal funding that states receive will have to be dispersed. They'll receive one chunk of money, right? And they'll have to disperse it between those 5 programs, rental assistance programs. But elderly and disabled will come first. Now, something new. There's going to be a 2-year limit, a 2-year cap on you receiving rental assistance if you are not elderly and you are not disabled. If you are able-bodied, 64 or under, and you are not disabled on disability, you can only receive rental assistance, all of this, any program, for 2 years total. Clearly, they're trying to save money by encouraging individuals to become more independent and less dependent upon rental assistance programs. Now, $25 million for grants for youth aging out of foster care is going to be allocated. This is a housing initiative to help those kids aging out of foster care get on their feet and become independent. Next topic, homelessness assistance. Number 1, $532 million in cuts for overall funding for homelessness assistance grants by eliminating programs that administer long-term assistance to people experiencing homelessness. What do these programs, which programs are included? COC, which is the Continuum of Care program, PSH, which is the Permanent Supportive Housing Program, YHDP, which is the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program. Now, housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, that's HOPWA, that's also included. National Homeless Data Analysis Project is also included. So all of those programs I just listed under the homelessness assistance topic, eliminated. The Emergency Solutions Grant program will be reformed to provide emergency short and medium assistance for areas of greatest needs, and this assistance will also be limited to 2 years. Next topic, Native American housing. There will be total cuts worth $273 million in this category. Number one, funding for Indian housing block grants will be reduced by more than 22%. And the Native Hawaii housing block grant programs will be eliminated. Next topic, self-sufficiency. There will be $196 million in cuts. The family self-sufficiency, the Jobs Plus pilot, and the resident opportunity and self-sufficiency programs will all be eliminated. I lost my lighting, sorry. The next topic is fair housing. There will be $60 million in cuts. The Fair Housing Initiatives program and the National Fair Housing Training Academy will be eliminated. Next topic, rural development and rural housing service. Overall funding for USDA rural housing programs will be reduced by $997 million. What specifically is affected? Rural housing vouchers, single-family direct loans, housing preservation grants, and mutual and self-help housing grants will all be eliminated. Also, home repair grants, multifamily preservation and revitalization, demonstration, and multifamily direct loans will all be limited. The next topic, rural rental assistance. The USDA rental assistance grant contracts will be renewed. There will be an increased funding of $73 million, totaling $1.7 billion going towards rural rental assistance. Last topic on the list is LIHEAP. That's the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Programs. States, tribes, and territories that have been receiving federal funding for need-based home energy bill assistance will no longer receive federal funding. LIHEAP is eliminated, and unfortunately it doesn't look like anyone will receive anything in the upcoming season of the winter of 2025. Why? Because the Trump administration laid off all of LIHEAP's staff back in April. So we kind of knew this was coming. However, this is what's going to happen. Not only with rental assistance programs, these homelessness programs, LIHEAP, SNAP, Medicaid, any of these social programs where the states are no longer receiving funding for all these various topics, right? It's going to be up to the states as to whether or not they want to use state funds to fund some of these programs or add funds to some of these programs that lost funding. It's going to depend on where you live and what your state does. But this is all the information I have on housing, rental assistance, homelessness, LIHEAP, home repairs, anything that has to do with housing at all. This is all the information I've found through my research that's in this current budget bill. And there are no start dates, however, because the fiscal year of 2026 begins October 1st of 2025 and runs until September 30th of 2026. It seems as though all of these topics will start at the latest October 1st, 2025. So I will keep you updated with everything, of course. Please share this so that others can gain access to all of this information. If you have any questions or comments, comment in the section below, message me, whatever's good for you. I do hope that you enjoy your weekend regardless. And, this is tough. I know this is going to be tough on a lot of people. I do appreciate you being here. Please like, follow, and share so that I can continue to provide you with content.
Expensive small essentials like this is, I have eczema, so I need this all the time. Look at this, $10.99 on sale. And then this one, right here, how much is this one? Oh, $15 for lotion. And then for deodorant, $8.49 for deodorant. Toothpaste, $12.50 for toothpaste. A box of trash bags, $18.99 for a box of trash bags. So I got some trash bags, some orange juice, 2 things of lotion, some toothpaste and deodorant. Nothing major. Let's see what the total is. It's probably gonna be over $50. $80. That's a bill. I don't care what nobody say.
Americans are so broke and they don't even realize it. I always get Americans tell me, oh, but people in Mexico only make $20 a day. You can get a full meal here for $2. The metro in Mexico City costs 5 pesos, which is like 25 cents. I can go to the market right now and buy 3 kilos of mangoes for like $2. Yeah, people make less money here, but the cost of living is also lower. Americans think that everywhere is like the US. Now, check this out. Let's say you live in the US and you make $3,500 a month after taxes. I'm being generous. Rent, $2,000. Car payment, $500. Car insurance, $200. Health insurance, $200. Phone bill, $100. Wi-Fi bill, $50. Light bill, $150. Water bill, $100. What's the point of making more money if you don't get to keep any of it? Who cares if you make $4,000 a month if you don't get to keep any of it? 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and that includes half of 6-figure earners. 80% of you guys are in debt and don't own anything, and half of you guys don't even have $500 in your savings account. But let's call other countries poor and let's call other people poor. Living paycheck to paycheck your whole life and being in debt your whole life should be considered poverty, but it's not. And I know this is going to hurt a lot of Americans, but it's the truth. The US system wants you to spend every waking moment of your life working and paying into a system that will never benefit you. Slaving away your whole life just to be retired for a measly 10 years. At least here in Mexico, we own our things. We own our houses. We own our cars. We're not in debt. But anyways, that's a story for another day. Let me know what you guys think.
Seattle shipping port is empty. So is LA. It looks like that's the 3 main shipping ports on the West Coast. They are no longer getting international shipments. The last one is scheduled for tomorrow. This is going to have huge implications for our economy really quickly and also long term. We are probably going to face one of the biggest economic recessions we've seen in probably over a century. This is going to be really bad, especially with all of the migrant labor that we rely on now being gone. If farms can't harvest, if people can't ship things in and out, if truck drivers can't pick up deliveries, our entire system crashes. We are going to see food shortages, empty shelves, job losses, and even higher inflation with all these tariffs. It's going to be pretty crazy. In like 3 to 6 months, we're really going to start feeling this really hard as the harvest isn't being harvested, as retail stores aren't having any inventory and go out of business. This is going to affect mostly middle class, lower class Americans. Rents are going to go up even more. Mortgages are going to go up. It's going to get harder to get loans. And we are going to see huge layoffs. It's time to start channeling your grandma who survived the Great Depression. Start your garden. Start learning canning. Buy a bidet. Switch from paper to cloth products. Shop locally. This is probably going to be a lot worse than what we saw during COVID. And the fucked up thing is the people at the top with all the money aren't going to be hurt by this. It's going to be us. And while everything is skyrocketing in price and while everything is crumbling apart, they're going to snatch up all these stocks as they plummet so they can buy super low and get even more money in the future. They are manufacturing an economic crisis that will hurt middle class and lower class Americans the hardest while they boost their fortunes. There is so much manufacturing of an economic crisis. This is all avoidable. But yet, here we are.
If you are a single person or a couple and you pay rent, have a mortgage, pay car notes, and also pay for childcare, can y'all please stitch this video or comment below and tell me how y'all are doing in the year of 2025? Because I don't understand how y'all are doing this in the year of 2025. Like, what? Like, if y'all's mortgage or rent is $1,300, then your childcare, I've heard, is between like $900 to like $1,400. So mortgage $1,300, childcare probably like $1,200, and then car notes, I don't even know how much it would be like. And then like that's not even including groceries, gas, electricity, Wi-Fi, insurance, phone bill. What? Like trash. What else people have? Water, yard, HOA. Like, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't even know. How are y'all doing this? Do y'all have parents that help y'all out? Do y'all put stuff on credit card? Is the government what are we doing? What are we doing? How are y'all doing this?
This will be the thing that finally wakes people up. It looks like the big, beautiful bill is going to pass. Great. Maybe when your neighbors are dying in the streets, maybe that will wake people up. Maybe when people are getting foreclosed on in their homes, maybe that will wake people up and there are no resources to turn to. Maybe when you have to take in all of your elderly relatives because their nursing homes are being shut down, maybe that's when people wake up. Maybe when children in your community are starving and malnourished. There's already 1 in 10 children in the United States facing food insecurity. Maybe that will wake people up. Maybe when you have to drive 3 hours away to go to a hospital because they're closing rural hospitals left and right with this bill, maybe that will wake people up. I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up to the conditions of so many people living in this country. Maybe we'll wake up.